James is going to join us. James is running a sales training next door. He's one of my clients who's been through this experience and is going to share what it's like going through this experience. We'll just get a handheld mic. Let's all welcome James. Wherever you want, mate.
Good afternoon.
How's the training going next door?
Oh,
Killing it?
so good.
Talking about holographics, aren't you, mate?
Oh, yeah, it's deep. It's very cool.
So I'd love for you to share with these beautiful humans who you were before going through holographic processes, because we've been through multiple together. Who you were before and then who you are now.
What a loaded question. Let's just reverse the clock a year. Let's just reverse the clock only 12 months. You might agree that 12 months in the grand scheme of life is not that long, right? And so if we reverse the clock 12 months from today and I imagine where I was 12 months ago, I was in a world of hurt, in physical pain. So what had happened was 6 months before that, I was doing a handstand on the beach, something that I did every single day because I was a calisthenics athlete, and so handstands were just part of my normal training. And I popped something. I was just doing a handstand and something just slipped here in the top of my neck. And then that caused a neck injury that I thought would just go away, and a few weeks later it didn't go away, and I was completely debilitated by that, and I was in pain every single day. And I never really experienced pain every single day. Meanwhile, I'm running a business that's turning over 6 figures per month, that's creating lives changing, that's looking really amazing from the outside and really commendable by a lot of people. And so the external validation was there, and the external resources were there, and everything that everyone thought was that, yeah, it's really good, it's just really, really awesome. But here I am every single day in complete pain, having to sleep throughout the day, not being able to sleep at night, night after night after night, and not being able to exercise. And so it took me about 7, maybe 8 months to be able to sort of exercise a little bit, kind of thing. Or when I say exercise, I just mean kind of function, like move around without pain throughout the day. But what I noticed was that every single time things would start to get a little bit stressful. So every single time, the business would start to get stressful, and when you're turning over 6 figures in a month, it gets stressful pretty often in that current model. I just noticed that I'd start to get into like immense pain, and I'd start to get a headache, my neck would start flaring up, and I'd have to go to sleep. It could be at all times of the day. And then furthermore, I started to notice that this started to happen more regularly every time I'd make money. So I would run a 3-day event, which would be our biggest sales event, where over 3 days we would generate 6 figures. And before the event, every time we do a 3-day event, I'd get sick for a week. And then I'd get better on the day of the event, and then I'd crush the event, right? Make a whole bunch of money, and then end up in physical neck pain until the next event, where I would then get sick, and then I'd get better, and then I'd make a whole bunch of money, and then be back into the physical neck pain. And so that cycle went on for almost 12 months like clockwork. And what I realized was there was the parts of myself that were just slightly out of integrity, where the thing that I'd built was really great, and it was partly in the direction that I'd wanted to go, but not in the direction that my soul wanted to go. Right? And there were other things playing out, that all of the tools that I gathered along the way of 3 solid years of self-development, they stopped working for me. I couldn't just reframe myself out of it. Couldn't NLP myself out of it. I couldn't breath work myself out of it. I couldn't anything myself out of it. All the tools just stopped working, which really sucked. Because again, there's this amazing level of success that's being created, and all of these successful tools that I've got in my mind and my capability to be able to create massive impact in the people's lives around me and in the bank account. And yet, I'm in pain every single day. I'm debilitated. And I'm only 31 years old, right? And so it was very difficult to get to that stage where I'm like, shit, man, my tools don't work. What am I going to do? It's like something needs to change. And so at that point was the point where Cody, who I was working with in a business coaching capacity, I was in Project Scale in the business coaching container, I had been in there for a good solid 6 months. I started going to Cody and I said, hey, I need help. I don't need help with the business. I need personal help. And I know you can see what I can't see, because I'm calling upon all my tools and nothing's working, and I cannot live with this pain anymore. And I have a sense that what I need to do to get out of this pain is bigger than I've ever done before, and is going to take more courage than I've ever cultivated before. And I cannot do this alone. Can you help me? And Cody's answer was yes. And I said, great. I don't care how much it is. Can we start now? And he said, yes, we can start this week on this day. Here's my bank account details. Here's how much it is. Here you go. And every part of me in that moment wanted to do the opposite, because I'm in pain, you know, like I wanted to shelter myself. I wanted to to save. I'm on the cusp of recognizing that this big successful business that I've created, I actually really want to shut down. And so I stopped selling as much, and I started to let things wind down. And I'm like, man, am I really going to do this? Like, am I really going to invest even more money into a mentor to prioritize my health and my well-being and face what it might be like to let go of this business? And I couldn't do anything but make that decision. I couldn't come up with anything but yes, as scary as it was. Right? And so it was the best decision that I ever made. And so as we started to move through the holographic process, it became very, very pertinent that I'd built an entire business over 3 years to 6 figures, because the one thing that I really, really wanted to do was just please my dad. But the thing that I was most afraid of was being abandoned by the person that was the biggest hero in my life. And prior to that, I had caused a situation where I basically pushed him away, and yet he was my biggest hero. And so it became very clear that the business partner that I had, the team that I'd built, everything that we were doing was operating through my wounding that I hadn't yet had the ability to heal and to face, because the tools that I had could not dislodge that level of wounding, couldn't integrate that level of pain, that level of healing. And so in discovering that, it gave me the courage to recognize that there were other things happening for me, and that if I kept perpetuating the very same thing, if I kept working in the same business, if I kept growing this very same thing, I would keep fueling and feeding the same wounding. And so for me, the story was the ability to look at all of it like a season and actually accept that the season's changing, and that all the work that I had done up until that point where I came and asked for help was everything I'd needed to do to be able to have the courage and the ability to actually heal that part and to completely change my life moving forward. And so fast forward the clock, you know, that initial process that I went through was one of the most painful times of my life. And it was the most rewarding time of my life, because at the beginning of the year, this year, my business partner and I were able to create a really beautiful conscious split of the business. We were able to make a decision and shut that particular business down. And then I had this unique opportunity to start fresh with a clean slate, with every single tool and every single skill that I ever picked up along the way. And it took me 2 weeks to create a 6-figure business. Right? That's it. 2 weeks. And then it took me 2.5 months to create 3 months of runway in one bank account that is the bank account I pay myself from. It took me 3 months to get 6 months ahead in tax, which is about to come back to me as a profit dividend, because I don't even need to pay it because I've got a kick-ass accountant. And the best part is, instead of working 80 hours a week, and when I say working 80 hours a week, I wasn't physically working 80 hours a week, but I'd try to go to sleep at night and my brain would not stop thinking about the thing that I was doing, because the wound was just so fresh. So I was working, not physically, but mentally, non-stop, My team was doing the physical work, one of them sitting in the back seat over there as the head coach, but the mental work never stopped. It was the most exhausting thing I've ever experienced. And from that, it also created a loop of post-traumatic stress. So when money would come in, neck pain would happen. So today, I'm here another 6 months later, and I just sent a message to Cody after our one-on-one session this week, where we did a strategy session on the business that's now a multi-six-figure business. So it was 6 figures in the first 2 weeks. It's now a multi-six-figure business. I work about 8 hours a week to do that. You'll get to see some of my clients. The room is buzzing. And we did a strategy session of expanding and increasing my prices even more and being able to create this dream business. And for the first time, completely consciously, there was absolutely no pain. There was only excitement. Because even sitting with my business coach would be 2 hours of pain. That's what was happening for me the whole freaking time.
Yeah, thank you. The metaphor that I like to talk about with this is you'll have one of two kind of associations with this. And the best way to explain this is with games. How many people have played Pass the Parcel? What's the goal of Pass the Parcel? To win. You get something right. So you pass it slowly. You want to hold on to it, right? That's one game. How many people have played Hot Potato? Yeah. You're either going to play Hot Potato and throw shit away all the time and try and get rid of it, or you're going to try and hold on to it and just keep holding it. Either way, you're not actually being present. So each one of you will have a strategy of pass the parcel, nice and slow, I want to hold on to it for as long as I can, but then as soon as I let go of it, I feel shit because now I've perceived that I've lost something. Or you just throw it away. And James, we will bounce between those games based on our moments of decisions. And James was getting to a point where he would just throw the money away. I get all the money coming in, yes, great, throw it away. So what that really points to is our ability to be able to see, okay, cool, well, how much is this really impacting my life? Because I could have told James, black and blue, all of the patterns which were going out intellectually, but if I told him intellectually, he would just create more compartmentalization. The shift occurred when he had that moment where he cracked open to be able to experience it in his heart. Because he experiences a moment of enlightenment in his heart that it only occur, like gratitude can only occur when your heart is cracked open and you can actually no longer speak. Anything else is just intellectualization of your gratitude. Gratitude is only experienced when your heart is cracked open in love and you weep and you don't speak. And in that moment, you access that moment of enlightenment. And you see the divine perfection, the wholeness and the completeness of that moment. Make sense?
Can I end on something?
You can. You can begin on something too.
And I speak to you about the metric of money as a really easy way for you to measure the up and down of the success. But the truth is, what happened was I realized that the business that I was in and the life that I had wasn't turning me into the man that I wanted to be. And so the process of going through Holographics and consistently working with Cody, and by the way, I did my first 8 weeks, and then I came to him and I was like, okay, cool, let's keep going. And now it's just a perpetual thing. I'm on a retainer. I just come every 2 weeks. Let's go for it, right? Because what I realize is it's consistently turning me into the man that I want to be. And the thing that matters most to me in this life is who I am as a man because of that beautiful woman that's sitting at the back of the room over there. And the only reason that I want to run a multi-six-figure business is so that we can have the best possible life that we can. But I get to do it working 8 hours a week. So I have all the time in the world for Hillary. And that is the thing that has lit up my soul, and that made every ounce of pain, and every dollar spent worth it, and I would do it 10 times over, and I continue to do it. So Cody, thank you.
Thank you. It's been amazing to be able to see your journey unfold and to see you just step into the work again and again and again, and to see you becoming the man that, like, on one level that you've always been, but on another level that you're yearning to be, and just to see you consistently step into that. It's an honor to be able to be there, to be able to support you through it. So thank you.
Appreciate it. And to know you're bringing this to the world, oh man, I'm so excited for you all. I just don't think you understand. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. So we can see the power in it, right?